Good morning, everyone. Our topic for today is moral standards versus non-moral standards. Moral standards, what is it? So it is the norms and values about the kinds of actions, daily activities or actions on what we do, certain beliefs that we believe to be morally right or wrong or morally good or bad. Maayo ba siya or dili? Like beneficial ba siya? Another thing, it is promoting or promotes the good about what we ought to do, like in terms of rights and obligations. And then for the norms are basic knowledge. Okay? Muna siyang common. Kung ano pa muning standards, the general rules that we follow about our actions or behaviors and how we understand it. This is the norms. It is basic knowledge. Example, dili ka pwede mo kill og innocent people. Di ba yan siya maayo, no? Next, we have the values. So the values are the beliefs or statements about what is good or desirable or not. Another kanang term na niya no kay it is the best way to live life or the best actions that we could decide about what is good or bad. Another example of values is kanang mo bless ka or mo amin ka sa elderly. So non-moral standards refers to what is good or bad or right or wrong in a non-moral way. Mostly kani siya, dili it does not pose any threat, sorry. Okay, wala na dili siya maka-harm, but ang maka-harm ang immoral. Okay, ang immoral mo'y ang violation. And then examples na niya kay etiquette, how we judge manners if may ba siyang nikaon, kanang naggamit siya kutsara tinidor, ang law kay nisunod ba siya maoning dapat na sundo na dapat mag-wear og face shield og face mask. Aesthetics is like how we judge art and good or rubbish, like bati sa mo music bati kag taste inana siya. So masam up lang ang difference. Moral standards, it is about norms and values unsang maayog dili, while ang non-moral standards mostly like how we think or unsa nang na-perceive nato na atong basahon. It is the matters of taste or preferences, unsang imong gusto pero dili na siya usay mo follow sa moral standards kay murag your own man ni siya, individual taste. Now we have moral experiences. So moral experiences, according to Hans Georg Gadamer, who was a famous German thinker, he said that experiences have two senses. So the first senses is about experience, knowledgeable, like we are knowledgeable as a person and expansive knowledge about things. Like in order for us to be knowledgeable, we have experience on that. Second sense is experience as singular, so it is taught and corrected, like experience in being aware of one's own limitations and facets in reality. I think no sa akin nilang murag ko ni siya kanang murag kanang kitudlo na ni siya ang second sense, like nag-base sa mistakes sa uban o sa tong kaugalingon. Murag same ra gyapon no experience sa first sense pero aware na ka. So gikuha ni siya na it is a continuity of a process, mga experiences na na-happen. Okay, ang process sa experiences na nahitabo na. So it is said that experience can be considered as hermeneutical. Hermeneutics is the theory of methodology of interpretation. So experiences, if you have experiences, then we interpret the process of meaning making. And then kini siyang experience nato if one is summoned by meaning when something speaks to us, diba? We can describe it. Then it also examines on to test one's sense of meaning making, no? Sa unsa atong mga na-encounter na experience. Kay this is action oriented because we are feel to comply na ay matubag dayon ko kay muni akong kuan. Diba if mo ask si ang teacher like what is history? Diba based on our experience, we make a meaning or meaning making sa what is history because its sense of meaning is to take shape, no? Mo take shape in the form of human action. Here we have the sets of moral experiences apart from other experiences. So first, it is puts our moral consciousness to work. So at iyang kikuha na niya no kay moral experiences is one sense of kanang right or wrong, like not a consciousness like is it right or wrong because it is the moral sense, di ba natay sense, no, on viewing and responding to moral situations, and eventually namulid sa tong moral decision based on our moral reasoning. Next is the second, which is moral value. Okay, ni consider moral value is about the quality of something good or bad. Parehera gyapon, morals, good or bad. So, iyang ikaw na ni ang quality ng moral value. So, the moral value affects one at center of his or her being as a person. So, it is our center, the meaning of ourselves, of who we are, how we value ourselves as a person, and how others see us as a value. Na agdiri sa atong third, sa moral experiences and how it defines us. It will correlate to our ongoing continuous process, which is the fourth moral experiences. So, ako na siya explain by situation that we choose to be good because we want to be good. Dili nag-ingon na, nag-ingon si ma'am na dapat magbinuotan kay ng principal. No. If you are good, then you must be good. Kaya murag mo man mong characteristics, diba? Like, it needs to be a pattern of continuation na kanang nagbalik-balik. Dili lang ingon, panagsara ni siyang buutan. Because buutan man ka, so meaning to say, honest sad ka, no? Naambayan ng inani. Pero nasa uban buutan na dili day honest. Char. So, lastly, ang fifth niya is moral ideals. Maoto. Buutan niya, honest. If di ni mo ma-meet ang standard, di ba ma-shame o mag-regret ka na, oh my God, like, nanunigo ko sa exam, kay, wow, kabahon sang meaning sa coefficient, like, dugay na kay ng panahon, i-google pa na kung sang meaning sa coefficient. Diba, na natay shame o regret, na kay bawatan, natay mga buhatan na, asong ibuhat na, di na to gusto, pero what tay choice, kayo, kasabot, di man na to mabutang atong moral experience. Next topic is about moral reasoning. So, moral reasoning, as I said, there is no straightforward logical structure. Di ni siya nag-follow og straight path or straight line. Wala. Di ni siya pareha sa scientific method, okay? Dili kay magtuyok sa ng scientific method. Moral reasoning is also governed by norms. What is norms? Basic knowledge, the standards. And then, judging on what is good, neither facts nor universal. So, kini siyang moral reasoning, naka-base ni siya sa moral interpretation of facts or your moral experiences. And then, aron ma-answer natong usa ka problem, no? Kung may problema in the situation, we need to understand what is the problem, no? Understand the question in order to arrive at an answer or the point of answer. Because naning moral reasoning, we also have the 7-step model of decision making. Kay mo-correlate raman ni siya. In order to make a decision, you need to know moral reasoning because moral reasoning is your logical thinking as a person. So first is ang facts, unsa mga truths na nag-support na aron mo lead sa ethical issues na na-involve, na maka-choose ka unsa ang principles na nag-overweight, like ang autonomy ba or katong justice ba, no? And then after na ko na itong unsa pinakabugat na principles, maabot na ta sa available alternatives, na diri maabot na ta sa point na compare to nato ang kining alternatives na unsang atong i-choose as a decision. Nagunahuna pa ta, nag-logic thinking pa ta. After na hunahuna na to unsang consequences, maayo ba, dili ba maayo, until ang last good na point is to make a decision, no? Risk taker, mga entrepreneur ba yata, char. And then after moral reasoning or moral decisions katong 7 ka buok, we also need to tackle the moral reasoning of pre-conventional, conventional, post-conventional of Colbert. So please know, I know nakaibaw na mo ng pre-conventional stage 1 and 2, conventional stage 3 and 4, post-conventional stage 5 and 6. So, kining stage 1, obedient and punishment tradition. So, as a child, una na nga tumusod sa ang is to obey or to be punished. Because according to Sir, ang human action, mabuhat rin siya, depende sa awards na madawat or in fear of punishment. Kini mga bata. Second stage kay is our own interest of own pleasure. Kay individualism man. Okay, individualism, ikaw ra, imo rang own self-interest. Stage 3, good interpretations relationship. So, it controls all interest to maintain good boy or girl image. So, kinino kay, diba, pag stage 2, like ato rang hunahuna atong gihunahuna. Pero kini karon ang ikatulo ato nang ginahuna ang atong kaugalingong image. No na we want to maintain ourselves as a good ideal person. No, looking glass theory na siya. Stage 4, maintaining social order. So, maintaining social order means say mo follow ka sa rules, sa laws, nag-acknowledge na nato na kita pa bata kay bawo na na ay dini siya pwede buhaton kay inani kanang say no to drugs so kana di ta mag drugs. But then ikabot na sa stage 5, social contract and individual rights na diri na what the society says must be right and should be followed. So kini ato nang gikuha ni na ay di gud pwede ang drugs. So dili gyud kay kung makuha ni nani dakpon ko mapunish inani. Because we are following what others are doing, no? Pero dili ngon na kanang ay follow na to unsa ang kanang dili maayo pero ang right ba like we know what is morally right and wrong, ethically right and wrong. And then lastly, we have the universal principles na basin di na siya mo fit sa moral policies or standards sa atong community kay murag based na sa atong interest. Nibalik sa atong interest, nibalik ta sa stage 2 but we know what is right and wrong. Example na niya na situation kay share lang nako. Kay example na ay sakit ang imong anak baron na babae kana ganing sa dugo leukemia. So ang kana siyang leukemia needed na siya pwede siyang marijuana, pwede na siya gamiton kay tambal man sad na siya. Muna sa uban states America like kanang legal siya basta naa ka na tong card because mas cheaper pa ang marijuana kaysa sa painkillers, no? Like, ang painkillers mo, abot pa siya $1,000 ba to, or hundreds niya. Ang marijuana murag, pwede ka magpatubo, or basta mo itong gikuha na naa kay certain card na pwede ka dito sa gawas, na pwede ka mo smoke, basta naa kay authority sa imong kanang doctor. Like, goal guys, duha na lang ka slides, okay? So, dilemma. Ang kini siyang dilemma, mabuhat ra ni siya if there are 2 or more alternatives na dapat ma-resolve sa situation na atong pilianan that we need to make a moral decision, no? And then moral dilemmas, it is when dilemmas involve human actions which have moral implications. They call ethical or moral dilemmas. Mostly to say moral dilemmas kanang mo apply ng ethics o morality. Okay? Example na ng moral dilemmas kay na ay duha baron ka sundalo ka na wounded pagira and then need sila both og blood transfusion but there is only one left na kanang dugo sa bag na dugo nya ikaw mo yung doctor so sa imo ha kinsa man imong i-save na army nya you're not close to either of them sa ilang duha so kinsa man imong i-choose og save. And finally, are the types of moral dilemmas. Okay, last slide na ni guys. Kaya na ni. Okay, individual. So, kini siya mostly on yourself. Okay? Moral conflict that is caused either of your own, that another person, or group of people's potential harm. So, kini siyang individual. It is a personal dilemma na naka sa extremely difficult situation. Example kay nag-decide ka asa ka na parent mo live kay nag-divorce imong parents, will it be your mother or your father? Muning individual. Organizational is the second moral dilemma in here. This usually happens if naay moral conflict ang either usa ka member or ang member sa inyong organization that could have a potential harm sa inyong member sa group or entire organization because of a decision or na imong kitubag sa moral conflict. So, ethical standards are applicable to all who are within the organization. Why ethical nga no dili man morally or morals? It is because organizational man siya, daghan mo. So, mas naglabaw ang standards sa kanang overall sa tanan kung unsang sakto o unsang dili. Lastly is the structural dilemma. So, kining structural dilemma mo kani siya sa level of position na imong gi-acquire as an individual or as a person within a community or in a society. Kini siya, example is that, let's have a sales lady named Kate. So, si Kate, kini siya na sales lady, like, gamay lang yung income, no? Pero, murag na siya ma-provide sa iyang lamisa. But then, one day later, ikaw na friend ni Kate, na-notice ni mo na naan na siya phone, na siya mga alahas. So, di ba mo bothered ka, like, how can Kate afford that? Na, kanang, na siya pila ka buk anak, kiniyang pamilya. So, magduha-duha ka, asagi ka ng kwarta. And that you also know na wa man siya na-promote. So, magpangala, naman sa ni si Kate, nani siya kakuan ko na lalaki, no? Or, nag-inani ba ni siya, like, inigagabi, kanang red district dahil na, mura ginana, ano, ilang tawag. So, kini yung structural, yung kikuanana ni kay, ang conflict na asa kanang position sa tao, like, iyahang or ranking kana or ranking niya within a social system sa atong community. Kaya diba, if mag-work ka sa community, naa ka diri na, mura niyang salary niya, 2,000 pesos, kining salary niya kay 51,000 pesos lang. So, kana, muna yung gikuan sa structural. So, numduma, individual kay personal dilemma siya, organizational kay murag daghan na siyang tao ni apply ng ethical standards, structural is systematic dilemma, meaning to say society related. So that is all guys, and thank you all for listening, and I hope that you all understand po.